Sowing. Two methods of sowing could be used. Either what, direct sowing or sowing in nursery tray. That one you transplant it. Now when we talk about the direct sowing, you don't sow two seed, it's one. If you notice those of my farm, the pictures of my farm, do you see two per stand? No. Sometimes we feel that when we plant two, if this one produces 10, this one produces 10, that will become what? But it doesn't work out that well. We have experimented. I said, whatever I'm telling you is what we have experimented. So you know what I read is practically what we have practicalized in our farm. Okay, so you plant it one. Now, if you are not sure, that's why we advise you go for high improved seed. If you are not sure of the seed you are planting and you are planting it two, when they germinate, when they sprout, remove one. How many of us will have mind to remove? But that's the best option. You remove one, allow one to remain per stand. Okay, so that is the direct sowing. And when you are sowing, take note of this. Someone will sow it very deep. Can you turn your finger like this? Can you see the nail of this your finger? That should be the depth. When it is deeper than this, before they will struggle to sprout, to germinate and come out, the stain is already gone. But when you put it, on the surface, immediately you see how they'll be very, vigorous. They have strength as they're germinating. So if you have been fond of putting it inside, so you know that you use this as example. I think nobody will forget it now. This one is so practical. So just use the size of your fingernails and put it. Alright, thank you. So that is once the seedlings have reached an inch or two, the weaker of the two. Okay, now if you are planting two, so along the line you look at the most healthier one, the most vigorous one, you allow that one, then you remove the weaker one. But most times I advise you plant one, then you plant it well, it will still give you the result. Okay, then the second one, you sow in nursery. I will show you the picture of nursery tray maybe as we go on, when we get to the nursery proper, how to sow it in nursery. One of the things I also do in my farm, as I'm planting it direct, I also now sow in the nursery tray for replacement. Because after germination, when you now go back to replace, they can't meet up again. Do you witness something like that?
Yes.
In anything you are planting, it's not regular to cooking by law, they can't meet up. Yes. So if you nurse it somewhere, the same day you plant direct, then later on you can transplant them. It works very wonderful. Please, if I say something that you don't understand, don't be shy. Just raise your hand. I'll recognize you. Call me back to explain. I want all of us to understand. Okay? I hope you are okay. Yes. All right. Next. Step 2, that's sowing. Now can you see the picture here? This is the direct sowing. People are working there. Can you see it? Yeah. And you say, how is it time to make our bed? Because we see it as business. So we don't just do it now as don't you like it? Be sincere. Yeah. You like it. So I wish that if I come to your farm, we see your farm like this. Because as some farm I go, I don't even understand. The difference between farm and bush. What do I say? So make your farm to be a good place, not making it to be a bush. Okay, so then the second one is the nursery. This thing is being nursed in a nursery tray and is being removed. That's why you see it this way. Okay, we'll see get to that. Alright, next. Farmers in most parts of Africa prefer to allow the cucumber plant to crawl on the ground. That's what we do. Is it not? Yes. Yeah, you got this one. But that's not the best option. A number of challenges go with this practice. Now let's look at it. Number one, what happened? Wow. Because you didn't do the right thing. So it wouldn't the fruit will not do well, will not set the fruit very fine. Okay, the second one, what happened? Difficulty in harvesting, as most of the fruit hide under the leaf. Do you witness it? Yeah. After you harvest the farm finish, you go back after finish, you see bigger size that you would have harvested it, ripe one that you would have harvested it, but because you didn't stake it, you didn't see it. It uses the leaves to cover it up. So, but when you trellis it, when you stake it, as one of the pictures that we saw, the way I stake my own farm, when you stake it that way, so you walk simply, you follow each bed, each line. So it is simple to harvest, to do the spraying, to do everything. Sometimes I don't wonder how people weed the farm if they allow it to crawl on the ground. Okay, so what is the next thing? Do you witness that? Yes. It's very common. Because, you know, you didn't raise it up. And most times it doesn't attract markets. It doesn't attract markets. Another one, fruit could be easily attacked by pests. Is it true? Yes. Because they're on the ground. Can be easily attacked by pests, worms, or even rots on the ground. Okay. Is it true? Yes. Let's go on. Okay, continuity. It is advised that you take your cucumber. Steps are to be fixed immediately after planting. You don't wait, because immediately the thing will fast. And one thing with cucumber, when you give cucumber stake on the right time, they will try to fast their growth to get to the top. So within a twinkle of an eye, they are there. Because you stake them, okay? Staking is therefore done as soon as plant grows out enough to hang on the stick. Staking makes harvesting and farm very easy, reducing stress, because you just walk on the phone. It's very simple for you to do whatever you want to do. The next, okay? You can now see that is me, my farm. You can see how we stake the farm, how it will look like, very neat. And we also talk about the issue of pruning. You know, you see under. Let me show you something. Can you see under here? Do you see any leaf here? No. It's kept clean. You remove those leaves. And our sister was talking about the yellowish of the leaves. When the leaves start becoming yellowish and you don't remove it, it influences other. So as the leaves start becoming yellowish, you start removing them so that your farm will continue to remain healthy. Are we together? Yes. Okay. So as you can see, this is the greenhouse, it's a nice open field. How do we start to remove them? We use either knife or razor to cut them out. Yes, or scissors. Yes. Practically, tomorrow we do that in the farm. Right. There are some things I refuse to do these days in the farm so that we can do it together. Step 4. Application of fertilizer and water. Sorry, it's water. Beko encourage farmers to apply organic fertilizer because health challenges associated with inorganic such chemical fertilizers. Are we aware of that? When you apply it in excess, it's not good to the body. It's not good to the body. You know, most of the challenges people are having, but the truth of the matter is you can't do farming without them, but you need to do it at the right amount. Okay. Chemical fertilizers. Number 1, what is the effect? Even actually in my farm, I asked my workers to apply it some weeks ago. So they finished applying it and they didn't water it. No, when you apply, you need to water it. If not, the acidic content will kill your plant. So they didn't water it. Immediately applying. Yes, after you finish applying it, you water it. That's same day. Yeah, that's same day. If you are so tired, the following you need to water it. If you don't water it, it may cause havoc in your farm. So it's affected my farm. Some stands we need to replace it. And when we get that, we also show because it doesn't meet up with those ones that we planted initially with. So it can, if wrongly applied, it can do what? Destroy your plant. Okay, what happened again? In the soil that aid plant growth. We know that most of the worm are not good. It also destroys the plant. But if you finish killing all the worm in the soil, we still remember in our secondary school days the roles of the worm in plants. I hope you still remember. Okay, all right. So we need to understand that when you apply it in excess, it also affects. All right. The next one, what happened? Pollutes the ground, water, which lead to what? Most of the problem that we are having today in the world is some of these things. We talk about global warming and all those things, you know, the rates we are using fertilizer, the abuse of it, so it's not a good thing. And I said yesterday that most times it also leads to making our soil to be acidic. And there are many plants that doesn't like acidic soil. So you need to take note of that. Okay? Next. Okay, continue. At the basic level, organic fertilizer simply means fertilizer derived from organic matter, such as what? Most times, like all these, you know, weeds or grass people are cutting around. What would happen? They will pack and throw it away. But you know that is manure. Not just manure, even the best manure so far. That you can gather it. Maybe bring this KK or whatever. Just bags it, take it to your farm, spread it. It can also serve as mulching. This is what we call mulching. It protects one, evaporation of water. It also helps to, you know, stop some weed from growing and a lot more. So some of these things, and I wish that after now someone will pack these ones. It's okay. So the compost leaf, you know, that's like compost manure. The bones. Yesterday I mentioned some of the things, periwinkle, snail, the egg, the shield of it that are good to your plant, to your farm. So you can process those things. The fruit, some of us maybe at the end of the day, those fruits, maybe you eat a watermelon, you throw it away. You eat a banana, you throw it away. Do you know that the banana peel, yes, is a serious fertilizer? Yeah. How many of you know? You don't know? It's a serious fertilizer. So what you just do, after you have finished eating your banana, put the peel inside a container that you can cook it, that you can seal it fine. Put water, you can pieces it, you can, you know, cut it into pieces. Put it in a container, you can pour, put water. Allow it to stay like 7 days. That becomes your fertilizer. Use it and spray on your farm.
It will ferment.
Yes, it will ferment. It won't have any effect. But that's organic. Even after spraying, you see and harvest, nothing happened to it. But we throw them away. Now let me ask you a simple question. Why is it that the place that we normally don't, you know, any of these things, if you plant something, then what used to happen? Something should enter your mind that those things are manure. Something should enter your mind. So you should process those things and make use of it. You know, we waste a lot of things. I feel like God should open our eyes to see a lot of opportunities that we waste. Okay, we talk about vegetable and animal droppings. Okay, that one we talked about it yesterday, you know, very well. To create compost with higher content of potassium, they usually throw fruits and vegetable waste into compost. I already mentioned some of those things. Okay, let's even go back. Let me say something. I'll just see something. Can you read from here?
Mixing will add
We'll add what? Well, you normally buy the potassium, you see not? Yeah. The next stages of fertilizer application. Organic manure applied during preparation. Topsoil dressing. So okay, we get to that. When you finish making your bed, you need to apply the organic, that is any of the droppings. Whether I feed them, I feed wood, I feed bee, I feed lamb, I feed rabbits, and all those things. So you remember yesterday I said that rabbit urine is sellable. It's money. It's not waste. Okay. Growth booster. This is what we call growth booster. Sometimes, example like Super Grow from Your Life, that GNLT company. How many of you use it? But there are a lot of fake one on ground. So you get it from the right source. We have a DI grow, we have shop grow. There are lots of them, mention them, there are many in the markets that at least we've used and they're working effectively. So as the plant is eating from the roots, you also feed them from the leaf. You know, plant eat from the leaf also. Are you aware of that? There's what we call stomata. Stomata. Just like a human being, each place that this hair is coming out, there is a hole. So the same thing is applicable in plants. Each plant, the leaf has holes, and we call it stomata. That's why we advise when you are spraying your farm, spray in the morning and in the evening, because the stomata will open from morning till around 9:30, 10 o'clock, and it closes. So when you spray after that time, it closes. Whatever you spray is not effective again. So in the evening time, around 4 o'clock down, maybe depending on the weather, the stomata will open again. So anything you spray, it's easily absorbed. So it is also good, apart from putting the manure on the ground, so you also feed them up. We call it growth booster. Just like you taking a kind of blood tonic, it boosts your growth. So we also boost our plants that way. Okay, this enhances growth at vegetative stage. Some companies have a different, I'll already mention composting. The second application of manure is done at the 4th week. Most of us, like, let me come to the question that our sister asked. One of the reasons that sometimes your cucumber will easily start turning yellowish in color is lack of manure. We call them heavy feeders crops. When we get to the farm tomorrow, I'll also show you that. So at 4 weeks, you should apply the second manure. Sometimes we say it's costly, but remember what I said, whatever you give, garbage in, garbage out. So if you spend money on it, he will recognize that you spend. Can you imagine that a father or a mother spend money to train his or her child? Then at the end of the day, that child will turn another thing. I think that child doesn't get sense. So that plant gets sense though. So if you put money in that plant, it gets sense, it will give you back your money. But if you don't put money in that plant, what will happen? It will give you back. So you need to do that. The second application. Note, foliar fertilizer are best applied very early in the morning or late in the evening. That's for around 4 o'clock. Right.